Okay, you and I both knows what's going to happen. In the comments down below, loads of you are going to say, I'm so happy Budget Bestie is back. Besties, believe me, she never went anywhere. She was always here. She's just a once a month thing. But we're doing it a little bit early this month because we've got a doozy. We've got a good one. It's an absolute beaut today. Hi guys, gals, and all pals. Welcome back to Budget with Ira. My name is Ira, and on this channel, we talk about budgeting, paying down debt, and saving up for the life that you truly deserve. If that sounds like something you'd like to watch, please consider subscribing to the channel because we do have a lot of fun over here, bestie. This is true. Very much true. In today's video, we're continuing my series called Budget Bestie. Budget Bestie is a series where people anonymously submit their budgets to me. I take a look at them and see what I might do if I was in their situation. This is not financial advice. However, sometimes I can look at it with a different lens in a different way, which may help you make better decisions for yourself. If you would like me to take a look at your budget and see what I would do in your situation, the form is down below, bestie. But let's get into it. So today's Budget Bestie is a pretty interesting one. It's not too far off of my situation, so I thought there'd be a good one for today. So let's jump straight into the prudent information. So this says, I have intestinal issues that cause my average weekly food cost to be £90 just for me. That's quite a lot, but we'll work with that. I'm on a weight loss journey and I'm needing to save for a whole new wardrobe. Exciting. I definitely understand that. That's a real thing. Saving up for a new wardrobe doesn't seem like an important thing. Wearing clothes that are 2, 3, 4 sizes too big for you really does make you down in a weird way. So I totally understand that. I also work as a chef and need to have a work fund so that if I need to purchase a new knife or chef's jacket, I can do so. Not a huge fan of that, but I guess it's just the way it is, right? As I am currently living at home with a parent, I would love to be in a place of my own. However, I want to be out of debt before doing so. Very, very smart. Living at home, chef, intestinal issues, got it, right. So this person's main financial goal is to pay for driving lessons and have money for a car when completed. The main financial issue is I think I'm trying to spread my budget too wide, but I don't know how to lessen the wallets needed. Okay, so they have a little bit of debt, they have not very many outgoings, and their income is like more than me most months. So let's just get straight into it. We're going in with this. This is my paycheck bill tracker available on my Etsy store. It is a pad of 25 paycheck bill trackers. Very, very good if you want to do a scratch budget. If you don't know what you're doing and you're going to make loads of mistakes, but you want to do it manually. Very, very good for that. Very good for small budgets. Really good for a lot of occasions. Starting off with income, we have one stream of income and they get paid $2,119 per month. So that's without fail, right? They've got 4 bills, which is very, very good place to be. So first off, they have their phone bill, which is $34.99, which is an okay price. We can cope with that. They have rent as well, and they lifted that as the second one, and that is £320 per month. And that seems very, very reasonable. They have pet costs. So I'm not sure if this is food or anything like that. There's that as well. And they have college. So I guess they're in college. So college subscriptions. I don't know what they are, but it's $35.80, probably Microsoft Word and stuff like that. So their bills come up to $420.79, which leaves them with $1,698.21. Lovely. They have listed 2 envelopes up here. So first of all, we have travel, and they say their travel costs them £150 per month. And then they have food here, which they say is £90 per week. So when we times that by 5 for a 5-week month, that is £450. But obviously, as we know, if it is a 4-week month, we've got an extra 90 there, which we can use towards something else. And I'm just going to leave that as discretion for this person. So this comes up to £600. And when we take it away from this number here, it leaves us with $1,098.21. Okay. So they'd listed 4 sinking funds, but haven't told me how much they put towards them and, well, anything really. So they really want this. So driving lessons, here. So driving lessons would be the first one, budgeting 0. Then they want to save up for a car as well, budgeting 0 for that. And then clothing for their new wardrobe, they've added there, and they're budgeting nothing. And work fund as well, because they need knives and stuff like that. So work fund is 0. So this is still 0, still leaves them with 1,098.21, and then they do have debt. So looking at their debt, they have one loan which is 4,735.60, and the minimum on that is £150 per month. So let's just put loan number 1, and that is £150 per month. So that's just minimums, and that leaves her with 948.21. So that is what their budget looks like at the moment. So a nice buffer. They don't know where their money is spreading. So like when we see a huge amount like this, 948.21, and they're still struggling with their money, it means they're forgetting about a load of stuff. So things that I can't see on here are spending. How are they treating themselves? How are they using their discretionary spends throughout the week and month? So it seems like a lot of the money goes towards that, and probably more than they realize. And they're probably doing driving lessons, but not budgeting. They're just paying whatever it costs. So having a budget for it is definitely worthwhile. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going in with this blue pen here, and we're not actually going to touch the left side because income we're not going to change. It's absolutely fine. Obviously I'd like for college subscriptions to not be there, but you know, you got to have what you got to have. But everything seems really reasonable, so we're not going to do any of that. First thing we're going to do, however, is we're going to start budgeting for spending. So I don't think we are in a situation where this person's sort of going without or anything like that and they're being hard done by. I think they're still spending money on themselves. I think they're still treating themselves. It's just unchecked. So let's get some rules in here. So we're going to go for £30 a week, which when you times that by 5 is £150. But obviously when we're in a 5-week month, that extra 30 will go towards something else. So now it's £750, which now leaves them with £948.21. We are going to go and allocate some money towards these things here. So driving lessons, I've had a look around. The average cost for a driving lessons in the UK is somewhere between £25 and £45 per hour. So I've gone somewhere in the middle, and obviously we'll need to flex this up. And judging by how my nephew is doing, he's gone for 2 hours per week. So £30 times 2 times 5, so 5 weeks, it's £300 per month. So that looks good. We're also going to do £100 per month for a car because it'll get the ball rolling, right? Clothing, we're also going to do £100 a month. That seems to be working for me. So yeah, let's go for that. And then for work fund, we're going to go for £40. We are going to add another thing here, which is birthdays stroke Christmas. So whatever works for you. So we can either split it down the middle, we can have one big pot. So there's that. I think it's one thing that everybody forgets about all the time. We're going to go £50 there. So I think those are like going to be the core sinking funds for this person. This comes up to now £590, which when we take it away for that comes up to £358.21. This loan we want to get rid of as soon as possible because they said that. So their main financial goal is to pay for driving lessons and have money for a car when completed. When we've got rid of debt, we're going to have a lot more available cash, right? So let's work this out. So I'm going to say do a £200 overpayment to make that £350. Now makes it £350 per month and leaves you with £821. So £808.21 as a buffer. I've got this white piece of paper here, and literally I'm just going to tell you how it's going to break down. So loan number one is £4,735.60, right? And the minimum is £150, but we're going to pay £350 instead, which means that we're paying less interest in the long run. So when you divide this much money by 350, we're actually going to get that paid off in 13.5 months, which for this much money, to have it gone in 1 year, 2 months, that's really quick. And when we have the security of being at home, I think that's a good idea. I think there's many people that would say an emergency fund is very, very important. But when we have the security of living at home, we don't necessarily need an emergency fund, right? But if we really looked at it, we could say that their emergency is about £1,500, because basically their bills come up to £500. When you times that by 3, that's 1,500. When you divide it by 350, because that's what would be left over every month because we would have paid off of our loan, then that would take 13 months to get to that amount. Or what we could do is start working on a deposit. So we could start working on a deposit once the loan is paid off, or we can add more into our car. Once debt is gone, options are limitless. Do you know what I mean? So we can start thinking of getting a deposit. We can start thinking about getting an emergency fund as well. We can spread that 350 however we want. By the time we've passed our driving lessons as well, we're also going to have £300 per month available as well. If we don't have a car by the time we've passed our driving, we'll start funneling that in, and then all of a sudden we're saving £400 per month, and it gets so much quicker. I think this is a pretty reasonable budget for this person. It's very, very small. This person's very lucky. I swear, when we get a budget bestie where it's got quite a lot of detail, someone with a lot more commitment, we'll definitely get into it. But this is what we've got this month, and it is a very, very nice one. And I'd love to know what this budget bestie does, because this is a good one. So bestie, what would you do in this budget bestie situation? There's loads of right answers, there's loads of wrong answers, but ultimately what you do with your money and the decisions you make is entirely up to you. That's why personal finance is personal. I'd love to know in the comments down below what you would do though, because it could be completely different. Some people really prioritize getting that emergency fund, but I feel like when you're living at home, do you need it? You've got security. If you don't have a particularly secure home, maybe it's going to be more important to you. Who knows? Who knows? But what would you do? Let me know in the comments down below. Hi guys and all, thank you so much for getting through to the end of the video. You know I love it when you get through to the end of the video. Please give this video some love. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you are going to comment, please use this emoji. Have you considered becoming a channel member or a patron? Patrons get exclusive content, sneak peeks, and significant discounts off my Etsy store. Channel members get early access to every single video. In fact, they've seen this video long before you have bestie. If you like sounds of those perks and you like sound of me, have a look at the links in the description. You will not regret it, bestie. An extra special thank you to our top tier patrons, also known as Sugar Daddies: Amanda Briggs, Angie, Beth Dorr, Kathy and Diana Hazel, Denise Nelson, Diana Hazel, Emma Playford, Georgia Cox, Janai Spackman, Lakota, Megan Edwards, Nat, Stephanie Hanley, Susan, Tasha Bouvier, Tiffany Probasco, Tony Leland, and Tracy Dowdy. Okay, so that is me done for Budget Besties for this month. If you have got a compelling story, if you have got something that you'd like me to have a look at and see what I would do, form builder is below. Definitely do it. There is no bad one, but try and give me like plenty of detail, like how much money is going out, what your income is, where it's going, all of that stuff, and I'll see what I can do. Until next month's Budget Bestie, I would like you to have a wonderful day, have a wonderful week, and have a wonderful budget. Always remember, don't trust Ira. Thumbnail. Maybe we just do, maybe we'll do, that might work. All right. Is that what we did last month? We'll soon find out, bestie. All right. See you next month.